This is KGW News at noon.
I think that the district needs to understand that we're not messing around. We do not want to be on strike. This is the last thing we want to do.
You just heard from a teacher in the Camas school district. She's among the 450 teachers and educators now on strike. Thank you for joining us here at noon. I'm Christine Pedawanich. Today should have been the first day of school for students in Camas. Our Devin Haskins is live outside Camas High School. And Devin, this is something that has never happened before in that district.
Yeah, Christine, this is the first time that teachers in the Camas School District have ever gone on strike. The two sides, the district and the union, met last night but could not reach a deal. So at 9 a.m. this morning, the teachers walked the picket lines.
What do we want? Fair contract! We want it now!
The first day of school turned into a day of action instead of a day of learning.
We understand that being out of school for another day and however long this takes is a big inconvenience for people.
These teachers believe it's worth it.
Morning.
But we think that what's most important is getting kids back in the classroom in a way that they're having an equal access to resources with teachers who are getting paid what they should be paid.
The Camas Education Association and the Camas School District have been negotiating a new contract for months. The teachers are asking for a close to 9% cost of living increase, citing inflation and rising costs.
Well, the teachers didn't come into this contract negotiation asking for a raise. We presented exactly what the district presented in our last negotiation that we were going to receive.
They say they also want more funding for music, PE classes, and for libraries across the district, along with lower class sizes.
In order to fund a music program, you have to put in extra work. You have to, it's not that we're not doing that.
Ethan Chesson is a choir teacher at Camas High School and says he's having to fundraise in order to pay for things that he says other districts don't need to.
What other programs like especially schools in the Evergreen School District are able to do is apply that money towards putting their students on buses to go to field trips, paying clinicians to come and work, finding culture bearers out in the community to come and enrich their students' experiences in music.
The district says their latest proposal to the union was their final one, writing on their website that, quote, "Our district's bargaining team is disappointed that CEA is regressing." They go on to say, "Our district has presented its last, best, and final offer. In it, we offered to raise salaries in 2023 by 5.7% and in 2024 by 5.9%.
My teachers deserve to get what they want.
And with the first day of school hanging in the balance, Bryn Leggett, a senior at Camas High School, came to school to show her support for her teachers.
This was not the way I wanted to greet them this school year. I was excited to see them in my actual classes, starting school.
The teachers say they'll be out here till 3 o'clock this afternoon, then say they're planning to show up to the school board meeting later tonight. This strike, they say, will last until a contract is agreed upon, which will impact the first day of school, but could also impact the last. I'm Devin Haskins in Camas. Back to you.
Thank you for that report, Devin. Well, there's also the chance of a strike in the Evergreen and Battleground school districts. Today, they'll be heading back to the bargaining table to continue negotiating a new contract. If there's no agreement, Evergreen and Battleground teachers say they'll strike starting Wednesday, which is supposed to be the first day of class.
We're just all in all excited for a really good year here.
I want to go to class.
You want to go to class? Well, let's get you to class, buddy.
Oh my gosh, what a cutie. That is first grader Easton. He was all ready for the first day of school. He goes to Walker Elementary School in Beaverton, and today Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici was there to greet Easton and many other students. She also met with the principal, teachers, and toured a classroom.
We've had a lot of challenges, obviously, through the pandemic with school closures and the disrupted learning, but I'm very optimistic because we have such dedicated educators here. And the Beaverton School District, for example, I have several school districts in the congressional district I represent. I visit them and I see so much hope and promise in the students. When I speak with students, they really do give me hope for the future.
Here's a look at a handful of the other district start dates in our area. Portland Public Schools returns tomorrow. Students at the Gresham, Barlow, and North Clackamas school districts go back on September 5th. And Hillsborough and Tigard Tualatin start September 6th. Right now, crews are pulling 2 semi-trucks out of the Columbia River. Take a look at this time-lapse footage of the first truck being pulled out. This happened near Biggs Junction, east of the Dalles. One of the trucks crashed Friday after hitting an abandoned car on the freeway shoulder. The other happened Saturday after investigators say the driver likely fell asleep behind the wheel. Fortunately, no one was hurt. Until they get both trucks out of the water, ODOT has a stretch of I-84 westbound near the crash site closed. The weather today will help firefighters as they battle a fire burning close to Bull Run Reservoir. The Camp Creek fire has burned more than 1,600 acres. It's not near any homes or buildings, but some people are worried about it being so close to Portland's primary water supply. We got an update today on how firefighters plan to keep it from getting any closer to the reservoir.
So our number one priority for this is the water treatment facility and the watershed area here. So we're putting a containment line along this road and holding the fire to this road, meaning we don't want it to cross that road. And so far we've had a lot of great success with that. So we're putting engines along this road and putting some plumbing systems in, and then using some falling teams to clean up the understory here so we don't get any fire spread.
And good news is more resources are on the way to help with that fire. Rod, a number of those fires burning in our region, that means air quality issues for sure.
Yes, very hopeful explanation by the gentleman there in terms of our water supply up at Bull Run. Well, this map does show the air quality alert warnings in play right now through at least tomorrow for the west slope of the Cascades, including up into the gorge, and then Bend, Roseburg, Medford. High fire danger is the red flag color down around Lakeview. And then starting tomorrow, I'm just going to cover everything real quick. Starting tomorrow, there's a wind advisory from the Dalles out through the Columbia Basin for west winds picking up and becoming gusty as cooler air moves in. Now, the cooler air is fantastic news. Right now, we're a mix of green and yellow dots. That's green, a moderate air quality up and down I-5. But in the alert area, you get over to Central Oregon, along the Cascades, up into parts of the gorge, the air quality at noon is considered to be unhealthy. Here's a look at our marine layer. You can see the cloud deck, still very solid from the coast through the Willamette Valley. Maybe you've had a little bit of light rain where you are. We've had it here at KGW. We've had reports down in Canby and a few other locations. The radar is not picking anything up because what's happening is a low cloud deck trying to lift, squeezing out some moisture. The radar actually shoots up above that, so it doesn't pick it up. But you can see the clouds in Cannon Beach. You can see the clouds of Stoller Family Vineyard Estate in Dayton and downtown Portland. We're only at 66. And there are some patches of light rain out there right now. Coming up, though, partial clearing throughout the afternoon, eventually getting up to about 78. Christine?
Okay, thanks for that update, Rod. Portland police say a man was shot and killed in North Portland earlier this morning. It happened near the intersection of North Vancouver and Webster Street. The shooting call came in around 1:20 this morning. Police have not released many details at this point. We haven't heard of any arrests, and investigators have not given us a suspect description. Judges in 2 separate cases against former President Trump have set 2 key dates moving forward. We'll start in Georgia, where Trump and 18 others are charged with trying to overturn the election results in that state. Today, a judge decided his arraignment will be on September 6th at 9:30 in the morning. There's also a trial date now set for his federal case involving election interference. That's scheduled for March 4th, 2024. That's a day before Super Tuesday. Special counsel Jack Smith wanted a January start date. Meantime, Trump's lawyers wanted to push it back to 2026. The judge rejected both requests. Trump's opponents in the Republican presidential primary say they're confident voters will pick someone else after he missed the first debate and in light of his legal troubles.
I don't know if it's 4 or 5 or 6 or how many indictments it is now, but he's going to spend a lot of time in a courtroom and not on a campaign trail.
I remain confident, more confident after Wednesday night, that the Republican nominee will not be the former president.
Trump has called the charges against him a, quote, witch hunt. He's still leading in the polls.